Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, we head to the Midwest as we are at the now kind of defunct Chicagoland Speedway, as not used by NASCAR anymore. They'd rather do the street circuit racing, but luckily they came to their senses. They're coming back here to Chicagoland next year, but we're here tonight for the 191 Motorsports and looking to hopefully see a good one out here tonight. 125 laps on tap for everyone out there. Looks like we already got the CRN fans out there in full force. Welcome to the channel here tonight. Thank you to our fans, One Vision, EMS and Transport, and Kim's Cups and more for their continued support. But it's time to go racing out here in Chicagoland. It's a fun, unique little track here. It's a 1.5 mile tri-oval, but it's not exactly cookie cutter like the other ones, because this thing is, well, it doesn't really have a backstretch. It's rounded off. Jimmy, welcome to the booth with me here tonight. Chicagoland, it's just funky enough to be different.
Yeah, I mean, every track has its own thing, right? So some of them can be sort of the same, but there's always a quirk somewhere, you know, whether it's a corner, whether it's an exit, whether it's an entry, whether it's a bump, whether it's a pit row, or, you know, pit lane thing. But yeah, Chicagoland, our land, has its own little thing going on, and the drivers have to overcome that here. I mean, they're going to be out here for a little bit here tonight. I believe it was 125 laps on tap. So, I mean, it shouldn't take too long. Obviously, they're doing about 30 seconds in here, but, you know, it's just kind of going out here, and let's talk about what happened last week with a lot of these cars. Small touches creating meatballs, and I'm hoping that doesn't create something here tonight with these Gen 6 cars. Obviously in a legacy kind of status, and 191 Motorsports happily brings them back to some great racing here on the iRacing service. So, you know, it's all out there for everybody. But it looks like we have about 18 drivers here tonight. Got about 16. We got 16 there with times in so far. Levi Poland putting in a 30.416, just over Douglas Ivy there with a 30.442. So pretty close times all the way down through. But as we know, Carl, it's not all. I mean, obviously you want to start good, but if you can't finish a race and hold that time more consistently than your competitors, it's not going to matter for the most part. So, but looking good here so far tonight. Let's see, this look like, let's see, I'll put up the session state so we can see how much time's left. Yeah, still got a little over a minute here remaining, so plenty of time for Dale Garner Jr. and Greg Thielsen to get out there and put in some times if they wish to do so, or maybe they want to start in the back, and that's fine too. So it should be a good one here, Carl. I think it's been a little while since I've been actually at Chicagoland to kind of view any races.
Yeah, shout out to the birthday boy out here, Justin Spengler, out there trying to get it done here on his birthday. But happy birthday from the CRN booth. We're gonna bring in our race reporter here tonight, and it's gonna be the man that was kind of known as Daddy last year, as he was the man behind the curtains, running all the race admin. But he's like, you know what, screw that. I need to mix it up with these boys. These guys, you know, talk too much crap about me. I'm coming out here and I'm gonna show them what's up. And that is the driver of the. I'm brain farting on your number here for a second. The 22, yeah, of Daniel Dixon. Yes, and Daniel, certainly a different look when you sit back out here. I know me and Jimmy kind of talk about it a lot up here in the broadcast booth. When you're sitting up here watching the races, compared to being in there, you see so much more, you learn so much more. But you had obviously a lot more on your plate last season, being the race admin as well.
Yeah. I've been on iRacing for a couple years, and the first probably 2 years was just trying to doing officials, and I was going nowhere because I'm not that talented. But I finally started working over into the leagues, and I could finish a race most of the time. And one day I got asked, "Hey, how do you feel about trying race control?" And I got into that, and as race control you can see just about everything, so there's definitely a niche for it, and you can watch the good drivers per se and see the lines that they run, and you can kind of learn by watching if that's what you do.
Yeah, and it's one that, we say so many times it's a thankless job, and there's a lot of times that you're going to get crap more often than you'll get praise.
Not from me. I thank them all the time.
Well, exactly. we do up here. We probably thank you guys in the race admin a lot more than you get it from the drivers. But you're out here racing with them tonight, and definitely a lot better racing when it comes to league racing compared to officials. That's why me and Jimmy talk about all the time. We really don't do officials at all, other than the big special events where we can get together as a team and run those. But getting out there doing officials, just more often than not, it just sucks. It's just you get out there, you may have one good race out of 10, and it doesn't wet your whistle to want to actually get back out here. League racing, in my opinion, and I think Jimmy feels the same way, is where it's at. But it sounds like the way you came to be the race admin here was like, Danny, we like you, but we like it better if you just step out the car and just watch us for a little bit and do the race.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think that was like I said, when I transitioned from doing officials, I was still very green, and there's an age-old saying, those who can't teach. Well, instead of teaching, I controlled. Exactly. So I can't drive. I couldn't drive the car, but I could tell everybody else how to drive the car. Yeah, no, I'm really excited. The 191 guys have been awesome. I've been with them 2 years now. I've seen a lot of people come and go, but everybody's always super kind, try and help each other. It's just a good place to call home.
Well, we kind of go by the same saying that those who can drive, those who can't broadcast. So that's why we're up here in the. You heard me, Jimmy. All right, well, we'll let you go and get out to the racing here tonight. But before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Big thank you to my wife and son for allowing me to carve out a little bit of time in our Sunday evening for me to come out here and have fun with my friends.
Buddy, well, wish you luck out there. If we get any cautions, we'll try and bring in here are the race going so far. But wish you luck, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Good. Thank you so much.
Real quick, me to drop you into to Chillin' or the race channel too.
Race 2, please.
All right. That is the driver of the 22, Daniel Bankston, as we are getting ready to go. Billy Rickett grabbed the pole here tonight by 8 thousandths of a second over Levi Poland. They are on the front row. Douglas Ivey, Justin Spengler, your birthday boy, starting on row number 2. Nolan Potter rounding out the top 5. Zane Bierman, Travis Noble, Michael Casey, Tony Brennan, and Foster Yates for your top 10. We are racing here at Chicagoland.
Way to go. First, turn of the race here. Billy Rickett out there in that nice Coca-Cola white with red lettering machine here tonight. Looks really good out there. Nice and classic, sleek. And I know there's a new paint scheme back there on Zane Bierman, sitting P number 6 right now. And caution's going to fly. And we'll get a really good look at it as Zane happened to go off track there. We'll take a look here and see what happened early on. Back with the 55. Oh, the 28. You seen that wobble. Oh, speed her back up again. The 55 coming up, just smacking the wall. And then a small bump there by the 6. Brings him across the nose of the 70. Sends him down into the grass. So early caution here. Does look like Mike Casey to get back up in the field, up in the track there, and getting moved around just a little bit. So big break here for the 6.
Right there.
Yeah, you see the 70 even being lifted up as well. 22 going for a ride as well. So just a spin out. So hopefully they kept it clean here, trying to watch the drivers. But 6, it's going to take another hit by the 21.
Yeah, the 21 of Wade Ennier getting into the back of the 70 and then getting into the side of the 6 there, Michael Casey. It looks like Bankston may have gotten away cleanly on that. We're not going to bring him in right back away right here. Let him calm down a little bit of all this. But it looks like Tony Brennan, the 65, has a meatball from that. Didn't really see what happened to the 65 initially, but already It is it's meatball time for the 65, and man, it's Jimmy. You mentioned it. We've seen it probably the worst we've ever seen it in any race in any car. I mean, it almost seemed like we were watching an IndyCar race where the parts just fly off immediately as soon as you have any kind of little bump with the open wheels, and you can get meatballs very quickly that way. But I mean, these are stock cars here. They usually can take a little bit of a beating. Last week, not the case, as there was all kinds of meatballs all over the place, and already one caution, one meatball.
Yeah, not what the 62 wants to endure this early on, but you seen here on screen, you seen the front tire kind of flicker and then snap back into a perfect position where it needs to be. But yeah, that was hard enough to hit to break the linkage up front. Rear end was gone, so 62 taking an awful hit here early on, and now it's going to have to play, obviously catch up, to get back up where they were, and kind of be patient and let this race kind of come to them, because they need to stay out of things. There's only limited amount of fast repairs, but yeah, it might even be conversation with the league if this is something obviously they got quite a few races, so maybe bringing in one more, fast repair, not to be abused, but to have these phantom, not so much a phantom, but just this car kind of breaks so easily. Yeah, and I mean it's crazy how many we had involved last week, and hopefully we don't see that again. But I mean, I don't know if it's because it's maybe an older damage model, because this is kind of a defunct car right now, being the Gen 6 out here. Certainly they got the newer models out there now, and especially with the gen or the next gen cars. So maybe not getting that updated damage model and braking just real easy. I don't know what the case is, but certainly seeing it here again tonight. But taking a look at the first two races of the season, obviously at Daytona, we've seen Matthew Scruffy Jordan taking the win there, and then last week out, we've seen Levi Poland coming back and getting the win at Echo Park, not Atlanta, Echo Park, by 700ths of a second over Roger Saucier, as it was a heck of a battle there. But he's going to have to get ahead of Billy Rickett here tonight. Just bested him here for the pole, but Levi does come in as your points leader by 9 points over Michael Casey, 10 points. I'm sorry. 10 points over Matthew Jordan. But we're getting ready to go back green here. As the pace car lights are out, it's going to be in control here by Billy Rickett in that number 7 Coca-Cola machine. As the pace car makes that hard left-hand turn, we go back to the restart zone, and Billy Rickett goes back to the loud paddle as he waits quite a bit of time there and kind of waited till the actual green flag. So good restart on the outside there for the 91 Levi Poland. He's going to challenge him into turn 1. I mean, they're using that inside line to their advantage. I was able to kind of keep going. So 91 just kind of building that steam up. Is it going to be the night of the high side or the low side? But you can see the run that the 91 got, just staying on that high side after they fell back about a car and a half. Going down in through turns 1 and 2 and down the back stretch. But now around the front stretch here, big wide apron, and you could see cars going down below that white line. Just got to be careful, when you're coming back up on the track. When you venture down there, and if you have somebody on the outside, they don't have to let you back up, Carl.
No, exactly. I mean, you gotta pay attention to the runs, because you see the run on the outside line is getting right now. It's definitely quicker on the bottom entering the corner, but kind of from the middle of the corner on out, it is definitely top line heavy and big run on the outside here once again. So the 7 is going to lose the lead on the last lap. Now he's going to lose second place to Douglas Ivey on this one as he tries to fight and scrap his way to hang on to any kind of positions. You see it right there. Entering the corner, the bottom line definitely better, but then as soon as you get out of the corner, that top line really comes into play. Good sized field out here tonight. We got 17 drivers. That the 18th driver, that Greg Thalison, is our race control for this season. So I want to send a shout out and a thanks to Greg for everything that he does, taking over for Daddy this season. As looks like the 22 of Daniel Pinks has got that car cleaned up if he needed to. Didn't really see any damage, but making his way through the field, running outside of the 23 there of Matthew Scruffy Jordan.
Now we'll hop on top of the old 22 here and see how things are going from kind of a little higher view than what he's looking at, but you can see, a few different lines being used by multiple cars, but coming off the corner, see how they can kind of come down there. And obviously just watching the driver off to the left, you can see the nose, that's the 23 of Matthew Scruffy Jordan getting by using that lower line. And you can see the 23 getting on that apron.
Touch that apron.
touchy. That's a no-no. It's definitely upsets the weight transfer of the car, and it takes something to kind of special and throttle control and wheel management to hold on to them things. But Daniel was able to notice that there right away, and maybe even lifted just a little bit, allowing Scruffy to go ahead and collect that back up. Up front now is Billy Rickett back to the lead here. Got around the 91. So another race here, shaping up as these drivers battle it out here. We'll go back here with Brandon Worley back here on the 88. But caution flies here for, looks like Zane. Nope, wait. I'm going to scroll down.
Like Nolan Potter possibly involved in this one.
Nolan Potter, Michael, I know.
99 looks like a couple. Wade Enyart also with a meatball. So 2 more meatballs on this one. We'll see what actually brought it out here.
Play it normal speed here. Oh.
9 comes down in front of the 33 there a little bit, and Douglas Ivy, and Ivy tries to kind of back out of it and get off him, but then it gets a shot from the 79. That was kind of more vicious than it really should have been from the 79 there. Not a shot on Foster Yates. I just feel like iRacing exaggerated that one here a little bit, but didn't look too bad right there. But then right here at the end, some heavy impact there from Wade Enyart in the 21, and that's going to give both of them a meatball here. And caution number 2 meatballs. So we've got 2 cautions and 3 meatballs total here so far tonight, and already starting to kind of rack up here a little bit. But taking a look at the track here, it's not Oxford Plains, which for those that don't know is a 3rd mile. It says short oval is what it's denounced as in Oxford, Maine, but it's really truly a circle. There really is no straightaways. Now, granted, it's only a 1/3 of a mile, so there's not much place to have straightaways to begin with, and it's a short track, so Jimmy is already thrown up in his mouth just listening to me talk about it.
Yep.
But
I totally forgot about it.
But we take a look here at Chicagoland, and you look at the overview, you look at from the blimp, or you just look at the track map. Is there actually any straightaways here at Chicagoland? Certainly the backstretch is all arced on their way from turn 2 to turn 3, and it almost seems like maybe a little bit from the tri-oval to turn number 1, but even from 4 to the tri-oval, it almost seems like it's kind of arced. So you're kind of just turning the entire way. And we've talked to drivers before that prefer a certain steering wheel offset, which it's one thing I don't mess with. I usually never mess with the steering wheel offset, but basically what that does is you can set it, positive or negative, that, when you're going into a corner, you're basically turning from the right, and then when you're going through the corner, the steering wheel is actually straight because of the offset. Or you can have it even more exaggerated that you're turning 90 degrees as you're going through the corner. So it's just kind of like a preset steering to the steering wheel. Maybe here wouldn't be a bad idea to have a little bit of an offset, so at least when you're going down the backstretch, the car's turning, but you feel like the wheel is straight.
I overdrive anyways, and it's best that I don't have any offset as well, because of, with the sounds inside iRacing, you're able to adjust those. And one of the things that can help a driver, manage their tires is actually hearing the tires. You can hear them when you're going in a straight line. There's almost no sound as far as the tires go. But as soon as you start turning, you can hear the scraping of the tire. I'm just recently now, if you have a more a direct drive or a little a wheel that is a little more picks up the fine little things of the tracks, you can actually feel it in the steering wheels now. So, it's a benefit if you know how to use it to your advantage. So, that's one of the things that the drivers can do. And, like you said, that maybe that offset will help them here tonight, and if they're using it. If not, there'd be somebody like me, or, they know that they're actually turning the whole time instead of trying to hold that wheel in a certain position to go straight. But pace car is in. We're getting ready to go back to green, back down in the Geico restart zone. We are green. Nice, steady start here from the field, pretty much side by side. And again, the inside getting a nice little jump, but is it enough to hold off the 91 on the outside? Going to take that dive down to the inside, could possibly slide up now. It's just, do you want to take that runaway? And it looks like he's going to.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to take the lead here. And I tell you what, not to take a look away from the action here on the restarts, but I feel like we need to take a look at that pace car when it comes into the pits, if there's a possibility. Because, I mean, if the pace car doesn't get an off or a penalty for unsafe entry, I don't think any driver is going to, because he leaves it to the absolute last second to rip down there and get just inside the cone, I believe. But it is close. It is. It's extremely close. That is one heck of a left hand. I mean, that thing's got some good downforce. I will say that, because he can turn that thing on a dime. But anyway, I digress. Back to the racing action here. As you got Billy Rickett out front, the 91 and Levi Poland in second, Michael Casey in third. The birthday boy wiggling a little bit, and a little save, maybe a little help from your friends right there, as the 31 of Dale Garner Jr. checks up enough to keep him straight. Right behind him, though, got a car in the wall. The 72 there is Scott Henderson. Not ideal through that corner right there, as it's a little bit racy out here tonight at Chicagoland, as we're only here completing lap number 15 out of 125.
Yeah, Douglas Ivey came off that apron back on the tracks. Why I selected over to him. But was able to kind of check up as they've seen things kind of forming in front of that number 33 here tonight. But obviously down a few spots, currently sitting in 15th. Was start up front, just kind of got involved early on, and now Carl got to work their way through the battlefield. Got plenty of time to do it. We're on lap 17 of 125. Billy Rickett is still your leader with Levi Poland right behind him, as you can see. And then Mike Casey moving up 5 spots. Bradley Worley's up 8. Zane Bierman still hanging there in the top 5. Scruffy Jordan up 9 spots in 6th. And Travis Noble and Daniel Pinkston battling it out for 7th.
Yeah, better restart here from the drivers, as they're starting to try and maybe spread out here a little bit, but definitely need a couple laps to get those tires up and under them, as the cold tires not working out too well. But looks like Mike Casey making a bid now to take over second place from Levi Poland, as he did come in on the pit lap, or the pit stop on lap number 2, so he may have some fresh tires in there. Or maybe he got a pit road penalty. Not sure what happened there to Casey, because it was a 40-second stop. So maybe just trying to save that fast repair. But good battle between him and Levi Poland. And now it's bringing a battle in there with Zane Bierman and Bradley Worley. Zane Bierman obviously involved in that first caution out here tonight. So the ones that are involved in the first caution got some fresh tires, starting to make their way up through the field, both in the top 5 now for Michael Casey and Zane Bierman. But Billy Rickett still leads the way over Levi Poland, Michael Casey, Bradley Worley, Zane Bierman. Then you got Matthew Jordan, Travis Noble, Nolan Potter, Daniel Pinkston, and Tony Brennan for your top 10.
You know, we were talking about that steering offset, Carl, there. I don't think Travis has got one on. You can see he's got the that steering wheel slightly to the left pretty much the whole time. That's that little red or that orange ring up there is pretty much gives you the center of your steering wheel, depending on where you have that offset. But yeah, constantly turning. And and I was always told that most tracks, if you go past 10 o'clock, you're overdriving the car.
Yeah, I've heard that too, and I don't know how people can not do that, because I feel like I'm past 10 o'clock quite a few times, and I feel like I need to do that just to get the car to rotate. So clearly, that's why I'm up here in the booth and not out there with everyone else. But
I'm just saying what I heard. I don't know how true it is.
No,
somebody can put it to science or whatever, but just like the faster drivers and a lot of the things that are out there, you can obviously there's so many people that race iRacing. It is a sim and it's trying to simulate real life, but in reality, it's graphically put together. It's a game, right? So it's just made to try to act and mimic real life. And some people have quirks, and there's some people out there, man, if it's a video game, no matter what it is, they're the best at it, or one of the best at it, or extremely good at it. But a lot of other people are just okay. And some people, like myself, I go out here. If I'm out here tonight, I'm out here for fun. It's not, obviously if I got to win, it'd be great, but I'm just out here trying to have a good, I would just be out here trying to have a good time. So, I've ran with the 191 here, and just when they were on their couple off weeks here before they got fired back up, and a ton of fun, a good group of people to be with. So, if you're looking for a league out there, look up the admins over there, Mike Casey and gang. So, just kind of get out here and run these Gen 6 cars. They're legacy, and you're not going to find them in an official. So this is one of the only places that you can be in some sort of organized race at least once a week to get out here and run these these pretty good cars. The one that like I said it before, it's one of the cars that I actually enjoyed running on the ovals.
And Jess is out here just trying to have some fun as well, trying to watch Justin Spangler out here, but it was a bit nauseous watching him try and save that car out there. So hopefully Jess, you're feeling a bit better, but we'll take a look and see who is going to be nauseous after this caution here. I see a yellow flag. I don't see what for. 25. I'm wondering if this might be
the comp caution there, as Greg did throw that flag. It wasn't iRacing.
Yeah.
So I just pulled that up.
That'll be our comp caution for tonight here on lap number 25. We'll let the drivers get in there, get their pit stops done, and we'll try and bring in Daniel Pinkston as he's moved his way back up to 9th position here and kind of get a feel for what the car is doing for him out there. But nice little run right there for the boys, and hopefully they get in there, get some fresh tires, get back out there, as the drivers do have 5 sets of tires, so 4 sets of tires in the pits, including the ones in on the car right now. And they do have 2 fast repairs on the night, but I feel like there's definitely been quite a few fast repairs used already. Not sure if anybody is down to none left, but I'm sure we'll see just about everybody come into the pits. I know we had some coming out last stop on lap number 11, but I don't think it's worth staying out there. But
I think Pinks is going to do it.
No better time than to bring him in to ask him what the hell he's doing out there. As we'll go ahead and bring Daniel Pinkston up here in the booth to join us. I guess, Daniel, first question is, what the hell was that?
I wasn't going to go down pit road, and then I was, and then realized I was going to take somebody out if I tried to, so I just stayed out. I'll get the bonus point for hopefully leading a lap once we go back green, and then hope for another caution.
Well, that was a harder bonus for sure. You screwed off about 5% of your tires just trying to figure out what you were going to try and do there. But
yeah, my tires are about shot as they are. Being the way I drive, I only get about 25, maybe 28 laps to a set. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it'll certainly be interesting for you here on the restart with all those fresh tires behind you. But how's the car feeling itself out there? This track is kind of funky, as we talked about. I know it's a tri-oval, but it damn near seems like it's a circle out there.
At times, tire wear is negligible. Try and use big words here for those folks watching the broadcast. But the high line tends to work a little bit better. The low line will eat up the tires really quick. So you kind of have to alternate between the high and low line based on where you're at in your run.
Well, we'll see how you do out there. We wish you luck. Hopefully, if there's another caution, you're not involved in it like you were early on and spinning to the grass.
Yeah.
But it looked like you got away with very little, if not no damage on the 22.
It was minimal damage, only about a minute and a half of optional, so I didn't have to burn a fast repair for it. So we got it taken care of.
Perfect. Well, good luck out there. Hopefully not to burn one here in a couple seconds. That's 100 yards behind you. It's going to be the 22 of Daniel Pinkston joining us here once again, as he is your control car here, as he's going to lead them back to the green, whether he likes it or not. He is going to be the one. And Jimmy, I encourage you to watch the violence of this pace car on the restart here. I mean, it's certainly the drivers behind him we're watching here tonight, but I mean, it is vicious the way that pace car comes into the pits, trying to get out of the way at the very last second, as the 22 back on the loud pedal. We're back to racing here at Chicagoland. Good start from the 22. Good start there from Matthew Jordan. He is one of the cars that came into the pits. He jumps right up to that kind of middle line, going to ride it through the corner. Can he get to the outside down the backstretch? It looks like Pinkston's going to give it to him, as Scruffy Jordan trying to get a lap lead here. Right behind him, Billy Rickett trying to follow suit, as is Michael Casey. A little bit racy back here, 2-3 wide. You got the 52 running the wall there a little bit, going to keep it off of there. Get the lap lead to Matthew Jordan on this one, but you see these new tires trying to get utilized here quickly.
And the 22 able to kind of manage that, and the drivers, I think, heads up, obviously, as they can see. 22 just a little bit off pace of the newer tires, but still that outside still holding strong there, Carl, even with the old tires, or the older tires, I should say. You know, obviously, we know these tires can make it around here quite extreme. You know, probably in the line of like 60 laps, to be honest. But you know, but obviously 191 doesn't run like them full fuel tanks, so they don't have to manage their tires to that extreme. And they got plenty of tires down in the pits, you know, if they slide or spin out, they can get them replaced. But averaging about 25 laps a tire, I mean, that sounds like it's right up Pinkston's alley there. So hopefully he's able to manage that. I mean, if he actually comes in the pits.
Well, you see a little brush of the wall right there off the corner. I'm sure he's already regretting that decision as he's starting to slide back through the field. I mean, he's going to have some extra set of tires compared to everybody else here in the pits for later in the race, and certainly you can probably take a set of tires every pit stop here, regardless if there's caution flags or not. But plenty of racing yet to go. We still got about 90 laps to go in this race, a little bit over that. And once again, I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. It gets you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. We are down one series for the time being, as the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing completed their season last week. So we're down to 6 races over 5 days. But obviously still plenty of racing action here on CRN, as we got the 191 Motorsports here on Sunday nights. Monday nights is the Hold Your Brakes Academy. Tuesday is the Core Xfinity Series. Wednesday is going to be just CSRL. And then on Thursday, we have the doubleheader of VVR and the Core GT Series. So a little bit of something for everything, or something for everyone out there. But I mean, you see that no lack of racing here. There's no waiting around. I know these drivers just got done with Daytona in the season opener last weekend at Echo Park. It was a little bit racy as well, but they're not waiting around here. They're trying to get after it and go after it and trying to get every position as quick as possible. And Chicagoland has given it to them. It's providing a pretty racy track here tonight.
Yeah, now Mike Casey able to work his way to the front. So 6 out front there. Michael Casey leading the way here over the field. Nolan Potter back there, and Pete number 2, and then Bradley Worley is snuck up there into 3rd, up 9 spots from the start. Billy Rickett is slid back to P number 4. Zane Bierman is still hanging around that top 5. Seems like where he likes to be with that nice fancy paint scheme that he had just gotten up to, or just recently. Levi Matthew Scruffy's in 7th, Justin Spangler, the birthday boy, in P number 8, and Douglas Ivey back in 9th. Dale Garner Jr. on his way to the front here, and then number 31 finds himself in P number 10, up 7 spots.
It kind of took a little bit for Nolan Powder to make his way out there. Started in the race here tonight in that number 99, and worked through it the second there, but it looks like he's going to lose second here to Bradley Worley. But Potter was the one that led the most laps last week, as he led over a third of the race at Echo Park. Didn't really get the finish that he wanted, or probably deserved, finishing back there in 8th position. But not surprised to see that 88, or I'm sorry, the 99 moving his way up there. The 88 though of Bradley Worley is up 10 spots, starting outside, obviously the top 10, starting in 12th position. He's now up into 2nd place. Michael Casey is up 7 spots after starting back there in 8th, and it seems like more often than not lately, Casey's not been able to lock down the qualifying. So not sure if, what's going on with the 6 team and qualifying trim, but the race trim definitely comes back to him. He led quite a bit of laps in the first 2 races of the season, yet to get a win, but looking pretty good here at Chicagoland, as he has not only taken the lead, he's kind of walking away here a little bit. 1.8 second lead right now over Bradley Worley.
You see, looking back from Mike Casey, he's got a nice, comfortable lead and doesn't have to worry about dirty air at all. So just kind of being out there out front, and that can make a big difference. And Bradley Worley kind of experienced the same thing, but has close competition. As he has a pack of 3 right on his tail there. Zane Bierman, Nolan Potter, Levi Poland all battling right behind Zane, or right around Zane as well. So you can see multiple lines, Carl. When you can see 3, 4 front ends when looking backwards or in your mirror, it's like, how do you defend that? You just run your line, what's best for you, and take your time there. And you can see Worley running a little bit higher line. I'll go ahead and see if I can get this. I'll go to a chase camera so you can kind of see how close this 88 kind of gets up towards that wall. Right now you can see he's down towards the middle here. He's going to float out to that outside, get fairly close, not too bad. I think just kind of comfortable. But when he goes into these corners, it is hard. It is hard to judge. I mean, you can see how close he gets up there, and it's like, it's just a weird feeling, and depending on Bradley Worley's setup, if he's running VR, you can look over, you can see the wall. If you're running triples, you can look over and see the wall. But if you're one of those drivers that runs on a single monitor, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just you're either flicking a button to keep looking over there real quick, or you're just guessing where your car is. But it does look like Travis Noble going off track and then jumping into the pits. So let's go check out, see what happened to Travis back here, just down to the inside, and slowing down. Maybe
I had an emergency that he had to hop out and go 10-2, or maybe bathroom break. Something you got to go. We've seen drivers parking before and then have to go. So, but
definitely a tough break there for Travis.
I mean, it's pretty crazy that typically the battlefield that we see and that Jimmy always mentions is usually back in maybe like 8th through 12th, back kind of towards the back half of the top 10, or maybe just outside the top 10. Here, the battlefield tonight is, well, right here, as it is 2nd through 5th place, and actually 2nd through 6th right now, as these cars are under a blanket, and they are getting gapped right now by Michael Casey. But man, it is close, as a 55 almost into the side of the 99, the 99 almost into the 88s, and I think the 91 just wants to get out of here and get away, but Levi Poland just can't do that right now, as it is some good tight battling here, all with pretty much the same tires out there on the car. And Jimmy, you mentioned it, it's tough when you don't know which lane to defend out there, and when you got the same set of tires on there, I think the old saying, the best defense is a good offense, is really what you got to go with.
Yeah, and obviously the field kind of breaking out here. We talked about the front battlefield, but obviously there's always a second salvo back here, in the middle of the pack here, and starting with Douglas Ivey in the number 33 and 7th, and Justin Spangler in 8th. They have their own group of 5 here battling out. Multiple lines, just almost a mirror of what's happening in, a few seconds up ahead of them. Just another group of drivers, Carl, falling under that blanket of, their skill or like or dislike for the track, battling out. And then obviously you fall all the way back here with Scott Henderson back here in 13th. And that's Wade in here there. He's in 17th, but trying to make his way through the field. Has a steep climb here tonight. I'll pull it up here and I can show you Let's take this.
He's only down like 12 laps or so, something
Yeah,
like that.
15 laps. I mean, not bad.
There's a 10 and a half minute repair for the 21. I'm not sure if he was out of fast repairs or forgot to check it, but he is at least
I
back
forgot
out
to check it. I'm one of those guys that doesn't check it. Because I don't want to like, especially on an oval or even in an endurance race. Endurance races usually not. Don't worry about it too much. But if you get that damage, especially on an oval, and your car is running just fine, you still got good laps. You don't want to waste it because you never know when that caution is going to fly, and then your car is really wrecked, and you get that phantom meatball here that especially with these drivers have been getting lately. But right now, the front battlefield is kind of sore their way out there. The 70 is back on the track, so Travis Noble, whatever went on, is put that car back on the track and some newer tires. So being able to get around these drivers a few laps down now, I think it's showed them as 3. So something, like you said, might have been a bathroom break, or maybe you went and got some ice cream. I don't know. I mean, whatever you're doing to have fun out there, I think the 70 of Travis is doing just that, going out there, getting some time on the track, enjoying his evening here with the 191 Motorsports at Chicagoland.
I mean, maybe the beverage emptied and he had to get another one.
Yeah, big time.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know the football score. I don't have a football game at the moment. Maybe he just had to, I don't know, pick a puppy or something. I don't know. I mean, people get angry when they watch football.
No comment. But anyway, yeah, I mean, getting back to the fast repairs, as you mentioned, it's like I've said before, it's one thing that I feel like, iRacing, as we've said many times, it's as Jimmy calls it, a game. It's a simulator. If you want to call it a game, that's completely fine as well. But they try and simulate real life as much as possible. They try and make it as realistic as possible when you're out there. Now, certainly, the fast repair, not realistic at all. There's nothing that will magically give you a brand new car, other than pulling a brand new car off the hauler, which is not going to take 0 seconds. It's going to take a little bit longer than that. So, when it comes to that, I don't mind the fast repair, especially when you get, kind of wonky damage models sometimes, and, these meatballs flying all over the place here. But I wish that it gave you an option to decide if you want to use that fast repair when you're in pit lane, not have it as a button that's checked, and it needs to be checked before you come in, before you hit your pit stall. And if you don't have it checked, all of a sudden you find out that what you thought was just a little bit of damage that may have be better off just taking the pit crew to fix it. Maybe you think it's only 30 seconds worth of damage. All of a sudden you get in there and it's 3 minutes, or it's 10 minutes, or it's 15 minutes, and all of a sudden your night is over because you didn't have that fast repair checked. And I get it. You take that chance by having it checked to use it early, but if you have it checked, you never really know how much damage you actually had, because you could have it checked and you come in there and it uses it, and maybe you only had 10 seconds of required damage, but you're never going to know that. So I wish it would be something where you pull into your pit stall and then you decide if you want it or not, whether it's a button you got to click, whether you got to hit the enter, whether you got to set up a button. Do you want to take a fast repair? This is how much damage is on your car, yes or no, or just the simple fact of that you can check it after you hit your pit box, so that way when you're in your pit stall and they're starting to do the repairs, that you can all of a sudden then check it and take that fast repair. It's already not realistic to begin with, but
you can't call upon you're calling your spotter for damage report, right?
Yeah, but does it actually tell you how much damage it is, or does
it doesn't say like, oh, it'll take 30 seconds to fix, but it'll tell you like you have front end damage or rear damage or whatever. I mean, it's not whatever. I mean, I guess in reality, I mean, your spotter, that's up above or below, they're not going to be, oh, your leakage is broken, that's going to take 30 minutes, So, I mean, at least iRacing giving you the option to use your damage report and then kind of use that as a judgment call along with the feel of the car. Whether you should use it now is kind of up to the driver. I kind of agree with you a little bit, but I think some people would just take it as one way to get an advantage over people. So, I mean, you either use it or you don't. If you got damage, it's just a chance to take. So you're not like, oh, I only got 15 seconds. That's fine. I don't care about it. I mean, you should be able to feel that in the car. I mean, I think we've driven enough races, especially in the GT cars or LMP2, when you go out there and we're like, all right, we're down 2 seconds on a straightaway, or this thing don't turn left for, worth a poo. And, we go in and we take the, when you pull in, obviously we don't have fast repairs in endurance races, but you can see the time. You're like, all right, you got 5 minutes, so you got 30 seconds or whatever it is for them to repair it. But yeah, I think the drivers.
You've seen it in our endurance races where we're off pace, and you don't know if it's aero or if you don't know it's engine. Obviously, if it's engine, you're looking at 5, 10, 15 minutes of damage. But you could come in there and all of a sudden you realize, oh well, all they got to do is replace the the front end. They pop that off, put it back on there. It's maybe 30 seconds worth of damage at best. So it's again, it's something that now obviously in endurance race you don't have the fast repairs like you mentioned, but here in league racing, it should be an option that you can click it back on once you're in pit lane. This is really all I'm asking for. Once you know what the severity of the damage is, because maybe it's 1 minute of required damage, and you want to take that to 79. A little brush of the wall right there.
28 speaking by that one.
Jess, you can breathe here once again. As
I was trying to hold my breath for you.
That got a little spicy right there.
It's not what you want to see. Obviously, the 79 doing everything they could to kind of slow down. But when you see somebody go down below the apron, and you're a driver, obviously, you can almost see it. You have to kind of be aware, obviously, while you're driving. When you see somebody having problems, it might be worth the slight lift. Obviously, checking mirrors and your relatives to kind of see where everybody's at, and then keeping an eye on that car that's having problems and where they're going to go. And you kind of learn that obviously with driving around people. But good catch there by the 79, not too bad. No meatball, I don't think. I'll just go ahead and bring the time around, and so able to escape a meatball with a nice brush of the wall there for the 79 of Foster Yates, excuse me, and keep things going. Just still holding on to P number 12. Justin Spangler still working her way up through the field here. Obviously, good qualifying effort here tonight by the number 28, but down 7 spots at the moment. But plenty of racing remains here as well. Lap 60 of 125. Mike Casey is out to a smaller lead because Nolan Potter has been grinding down that time, and you can see now how close Nolan Potter is. He's only 0.72 seconds behind, Carl.
Yeah, got out to about 1.8 to 2 seconds, the advantage for Mike Casey, but ever since Potter got back into it to second place, he has been eating into that gap and doing it by 10th or 2 a lap this last time by right here, gaining a little over 0.2 of a second on Casey, running a 32.26 and Potter running a 32.03. So some good lap times here from Potter, able to maybe rotate through the corners a little bit better than Casey. Levi Poland not falling away either, as he's only about 0.8 of a second behind Nolan Potter. Zane Bierman in 4th place for the time being, but he's got he's good in 4th, but it's the company is with Bradley Worley and Billy Rickett battling back there, 5th and 6th, very close battle. And then 7th place, Tony Brennan is back. Thought he was back in the top 5, but looks like he's not gonna be able to make the pass yet on Bradley Worley. Tony Brennan is another 6 seconds behind, so right now the top 6 kind of checking away here a little bit on the rest of the field, as Tony Brennan here in 7th place. Matthew Scruffy Jordan, your winner at the season opener at Daytona, in 8th place right now, 4 seconds behind. And then Dale Garner Jr. is another half a second behind. You see him back there as he helped Matthew get out of that predicament that he got himself in. Certainly got quite sideways, and a great save by him with the help of the 31 right there, Dale Garner Jr. And then the 33 of Douglas Ivey, another one that's kind of surprisingly fallen back here. We've seen him up there battling and maybe having a chance to get up to the lead, but just we kind of lost the handling on that car for this run, as he's back there in 10th place. As we get to the halfway point, and we're about to have a new leader, Jimmy, because Nolan Potter has reeled in that 6, and they're side by side heading down the backstretch.
Yeah, and this might, obviously Michael Casey and Nolan Potter are extremely close in the official iRating world here, as Nolan is a just over 3K, and Michael Casey's at 2,900. So, they would be racing each other on the track, even if they were doing officials. And I think Nolan Potter was just kind of sitting back a little bit, Carl, with his run, just kind of maybe conserving his tires a little bit and keeping things a little more consistent. I think Michael Casey, obviously, when you get that much of a lead, you have nothing to pace yourself. It takes a lot of self-control to manage your tires, hold your own. You got nobody to follow. You're just doing your own thing. And maybe has overdriven the tires just a little bit, or maybe he's fuel saving a little bit to kind of stretch this thing out here. They were in on lap 26. They've been out here now for 40 laps. Pinkston was in on lap 11 and is still out there, Carl. So they got 50-some laps on these runs.
Yeah, these drivers are definitely getting some good fuel mileage out there, and they do have. I'm trying to see here if they have. Not showing me here. Apparently, what kind of fuel they have for the cars here. So maybe full tanks of fuel out here tonight, and they're certainly showing it. But what you are seeing here is the 99 able to end the 6 quite easily here. Not as easy passing him though, because we've seen that middle to high line is kind of where you want to be, and Casey has been holding on to it for quite some time, but now Potter moves to the high side. It might be a situation where Casey coming to the pits, and yet there is a 6 blowing up. He's bringing it down into pit lane here, so giving up that high line as he rounds the corner down into pit lane, giving up the lead. So Potter now to the point for the first time here tonight. Led a bunch of laps, as I mentioned last week at Echo Park. This is his first laps led here tonight at Chicagoland.
And you just wonder, obviously, if they're coming around on that 40, just over 40 lap here since they were initially in on lap 26 there. So yeah, everybody kind of going in. How long will Potter stay out and allow Mike Casey to get that undercut? Because obviously we know new tires are usually quicker here, but Casey's in, Yates is in. Let's see, Ivy was in on 64. Pinkston was in on 66. So a few drivers are calling it early here, and obviously you can see they're a lap down now. So they're pretty spread out looking at the track map, but we've seen this before. The pit stops cycle happens. The ones that come in early can obviously trying to get the undercut. So they're relying on all the other drivers to maintain and keep it green. Henderson coming down into the pits right now. But yeah, Potter's still out front over Poland, Bierman, Worley, Rickett for your top 5. Brennan, Jordan, Dale Gardner Jr., Justin Spengler, and Knight, Richard Hartman for your top 10.
Yeah, and realistically, Potter, if he can stretch this thing out to around lap 76, if he can get about a 50-lap run on this tank, then he'd be set up to make this as his last pit stop and get it all the way to the end. It's going to be a pretty tall ask, but it could be where he's going with this thing here, and maybe that's in the cards already. Maybe Mike Casey felt like he was getting run down, so he wanted to take an early pit stop, and he can make it to the end from where he is. But now you see Scruffy Jordan coming down into pit lane. You see the 72 there of Scott Henderson coming out of pit lane. So we'll see if Potter, Poland, or any of the other top guys can make it all the way to lap 76. We're already getting there to lap 71, so maybe that's why we've seen that 99 just kind of hanging back there. He was saving that fuel to try and make this thing on one more stop.
It's obviously strategy call on part of this, and not everybody's ready for that, to kind of take those fuel numbers and decisions. And obviously with the early cautions, it's kind of hard to say, we're going to have a bunch of cautions here tonight. But these drivers have figured the car out, Carl. They've been green for quite some time now, since the comp caution was the only thing that slowed them down. But they were green prior to that. I think it was the lap around 11 when some of the other drivers came in there. I see Hartman's still out there, ending number 52. So still making things happen there. I see the 22 of Pinkston obviously back out, making their way around Hartman. But Hartman coming down on that apron a little wide. Oh, no. Get back up there. Can you go one more lap?
This could be tough there, and definitely shout out to Richard Hartman, one behind One Vision EMS and Transports, one of the series sponsors here tonight. They weighed in here. The other one bringing in Kim's Cups and more. So thank you to both of them for all the support here for 191. Well, thank everyone out there in Sierra Nation as well tuning in here tonight. It's been a pretty good one here. Good green flag run here for the boys at 191, and wondering when they're going to come in. And Jimmy, I'm thinking more and more likely that these guys are good on one more stop. They only got a couple more laps here to make it to lap 76, and that would definitely be able to split it and make it on that one more stop to go another 50 laps. I'm wondering now if drivers like Mike Casey, if Daniel Pinkston, Foster Yates, can they make it on the stop that they've made? Because they've definitely got the shortcut working. They got faster cars out there right now. The ones that are going to be pitting later are going to have better tires at the end, as now Nolan Potter is going to bring the 99 into pit lane. Here comes the 91 of Levi Poland, Zane Bierman, Bradley Worley. Jimmy, we're right around lap 76, but we're not at lap 76, but it's right around 50 laps to go here to the end. I would think they're going to try and make this the last pit stop.
Yeah, I mean, they crossed the line, and obviously the lap counter starts at 76, so they have 50 laps remaining here tonight, obviously, and they'll be good to go. I think they'll be fine to the end, but like I said, Hartman was in on lap 11, trying to come in, not too long ago, missing pit lane, but that was unfortunate for the 52. But I think everybody might have enough to make it to the end, besides the ones that haven't come in yet. Obviously, Dale Garner Jr. getting out there to lead a few laps here tonight, get those bonus points. And then, obviously, the birthday boy, maybe looking to get a lap lead here tonight, still out there as well, but he needs Garner to come in so the 28 can get that bonus point for leading the lap, and he's getting closed in pretty quickly by Mike Casey, that's back there behind him. So he needs Garner to come in early, like now, and so he can get a lap lead if that's what he would like to do for his birthday.
There it is. You ask and he shall receive, as Garner Jr. into the pits, and the birthday boy going to lead off.
Woo, happy birthday.
There's your gift from Dale Garner Jr. coming into the pits and giving you that lap lead. But you talk about the short pit for Michael Casey. He came in on lap 67. Nolan Potter came in on lap 75. That's granted Michael Casey a 6-second gap over Nolan Potter. But now the problem is, at the end of this race, providing Michael Casey can make it all the way to the end, he's going to have 8-lap older tires. And he's seen late in that run is when Potter was able to run him down. Maybe Casey has to play a little fuel-saving game as well, so we'll see how this plays out. But one thing I got to say, Jimmy, as we see Justin Spengler now coming into the pits, we have not seen pit road penalties here tonight. Congrats to all the drivers out here getting through this cycle. No unsafe entries. Well, I guess maybe if you want to consider the 52 of...
he didn't make pit lane to get in there.
You didn't get a penalty if you never enter pit lane. So.
I mean, a whoopsie, drive through the grass, mow a little bit, pay the crew out there a small fee for, getting about 100 feet of grass done for them. But Mike Casey's got a challenge. Obviously, he's out to 5 seconds over Potter. We've seen Potter kind of run him down, but now it's got to be sitting in Casey's mind. I have a big lead. I have older tires. I need to save. Maybe he's running. Does he have enough fuel? Those all kinds of things kind of go into my brain. I think they have enough fuel. It's the fact that he's only got 4.5 seconds to play with to keep Potter back there, and Potter was super consistent. Now, is Potter going to push him? Is Potter going to burn up his tires? There's so many things going on. We got some distances between drivers down. I'll take down the gap here. I'll leave the gap on, but I'll put up intervals. And intervals is basically where everybody's on the track. Obviously, we've said this before. Orange within a half a second, yellow over a half a second, and that way you can see who is where and where the battles are. So if I go back to Worley, you can see Worley is just behind Bierman there, just by a half a second. If I go back to Ivy, where is he at? Right here, Douglas. You can see how much closer that is there, and then back there with Yates as well. So, and the battle is right there. So, everybody doing a good job. I mean, everybody's single file. The Skittles are in a happy place at the moment, as the drivers just need to hit their marks, manage their tires, and try to close in on their competitors or pull away to keep things going. But Mike Casey losing time here as he's working his way through the field as well. But Nolan Potter in that 99 has other plans for that 6 here tonight.
Yeah, Michael Casey losing time hand over fist here by, again, at least 0.2 of a second a lap, and it's to be expected because those 8-lap newer tires, and it's kind of the conundrum of having that big lead, because there's really, in my opinion, 2 ways to handle that big lead that Casey has. Do you run hard and try and maintain as big of a lead as possible, knowing that you're burning up your tires and you have older tires to begin with? Or do you kind of, just settle in and try and run just nice, smooth, consistent laps in hopes that you save enough tire for that way when the 99 of Potter catches you, you can actually mount a little bit of a battle? It's basically just, when do you want to battle the 90? Do you want to battle it at the end, or do you want to try and get all the way to the end? And that's the other thing too. He did come in 8 laps earlier, so he may not be able to make it to the end of this race. And you hear it right there, fuel saving. The lead was 6 seconds. It's 1.2. And you can see right there that Klondike machine right behind the 72 of Scott Henderson. It's getting bigger and bigger in the mirror, and going to be a battle here probably at the end of this lap, if not next lap.
Yeah, and Potter's just letting up like normal. So he should be good to go. No fuel saving at all from the 99. The 6 maybe pit just a couple laps too soon to make it here to the end, but trying to make sure he makes it to the end. And obviously, obviously there's a few things fuel saving does as well, Carl. I mean, typically it's a little easier on your tires because you're letting up and you're just kind of letting the car kind of roll and coast to the corners farther. So he's just got to keep a good pace in order to give him the ability to, stay in the top 3 and get good finishes here, in order to, back up his championship for last year. Not off to the greatest of starts here. Not horrible, but would like better finishes, I'm sure, for the number 6 Nolan Potter, and trying to maybe snag a win here as well, and get things rolling here for the season. So. Yeah, a lot of things on the plate, Carl. Anything can happen. We're only on lap 87 of 125. Nolan Potter is out front over Michael Casey. Billy Rickett has found himself back up to P number 3. Levi Boland up in 4th. Zane Bierman still holding on to P number 5. Obviously, just want to give a shout out to everybody out there. Obviously, Jess and Renee, Alicia. And I just seen Mustang Cobra Boy hop in here as well. So yeah, just shout out to everybody. Glad the fans are out there enjoying the evening. If you haven't already, I haven't asked yet, smash the thumbs up, put the algorithm where it needs to be, get these drivers the recognition they deserve if anybody is searching on YouTube. But yeah, you're here with Jimmy and Carl live in Sierra.
Yeah, shout out to Brendan Garner out there rooting on Dale Garner Jr. in 13th currently. But, I mean, you look at the season for Mike Casey, as you mentioned, coming off the season, or the championship last year. Started off 6th at Daytona, 5th last week at Echo Park. So I guess, if he finishes 4th here or higher, he's still on the way up. As you see, Garner Jr. has got those newer tires, battling here with your leader to get back on the lead lap. He is right now your lucky dog, but he wants to get this thing back the hard way. He's been turning some good, fast laps here since he came out, and he is going to make it around your leader, the 99 of Potter. But now looks like Casey has got some company here. Once again, Billy Rickett has closed in on him, looking to make the pass here for 2nd, and maybe still has some eyes set on that top spot yet, as he pit 1 lap earlier than Potter, so he's got 1 lap older tires. But we've seen Rickett be fast before, and we'll see if that 7 can run down the 99.
Yeah, it's, obviously, doing a great, fantastic job in the number 7 there. Obviously, he qualified well on the pole, down a spot. So to kind of see the 7 kind of get back up to the front there is always a good thing. And you've seen how qualifying goes and then race goes. People kind of seesaw. The 7 fell back quite a ways and was able to kind of work their way through the pit stops and whatnot. And now it's getting towards the end of the race. Obviously, only 34 laps remaining here still, and to finish this thing off. And you're hearing people lifting early. You're hearing people coasting. You see people just kind of driving all out. Is another pit stop needed? Don't know. I'm in the booth. I don't have any fuel numbers in front of me or anything to go by as far as drafting here tonight. But what I do know is that it's been a good one so far. And your top 5 is Nolan Potter, Billy Rickett, Michael Casey, Levi Poland, Zane Bierman, and obviously we have a birthday boy out there as well. So always, it's good to have the time to enjoy life and celebrate just a little bit, but having a decent run, solid run, P12 right now in that number 28.
Well, what I do know, Jimmy, is I think it's about time we let these fans out here in Sierra Nation enjoy the sights and sounds here of the 191 Motorsports and crank it up for a little Love to Hear It.
A little weird. plays the sounds of these awesome cars here at Chicagoland. Nolan Potter out to a nice 5-second lead over Billy Rickett, who's made it back up to P number 2. Michael Casey in the fray here, battling out now with the number 91 of Levi Poland, as Levi is going to go around on the outside. So 19 laps to go, not looking good for a podium finish here for Michael Casey. Good finish, but that podium is stretching away. I'm sure Bradley Worley back there is a little farther back, so Mike Casey's got a little bit of time to hold off the 88. And then sixth is Tony Brennan there in the 65. I haven't talked much about the 65, 62 on the track. But up 3 spots from the start. Scruffy back there in 7th, up 8 spots, Carl. Just kind of nice consistent run, solid finish here tonight. Justin Spangler in P8, so in the top 10. Only down 4 spots from the start. Looking good here for the final few laps. Foster Yates is in the top 10, and Dane Zierman has fallen back to P number 10. Scott Henderson up 5 spots in 11th. Daniel Pinkston in 12th, only down 1 spot from the start. Douglas Ivey having a rough race here tonight in 13th. Richard Hartman is where they started. Back here in 14th, Dale Gardner Jr. up 2 spots in 15th. Travis Noble having a rough night there with a 70, down 9 spots, and Wade Enyart. We've seen some really good runs by the 21, but tonight being collected in some earlier incidents, but having the time of his life out there as always, running back there in P number 17.
Well, definitely a good battle right now for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, as we've seen Levi Poland able to get around the 6 and then briefly get around the 7, but now shuffled back again, had to fight back. He's gotten back around the 6 here one more time. Looks like the 31 up there of Dale Garner Jr. just kind of being a thorn. He is not on the lead lap. He's not battling for position, but maybe taking a line away for some of these drivers into the corners. And you see the 91 trying to mount another charge. Meanwhile, 6.6 seconds ahead. Nolan Potter maybe getting a little redemption for leading so many laps last week at Echo Park. He is not looking back here tonight, as we are clicking down the laps, and we've got 15 laps to go here at Chicagoland. He has got this thing under wraps, providing a late race caution. Billy Rickett trying to hold on to 2nd place, and a heck of a battle there for 3rd, as Michael Casey once again mounting a charge here to Levi Poland. I was going to say that Michael Casey just trying to slowly climb up through the standings here. As I mentioned, he finished in 6th at Daytona, finished in 5th at Echo Park, and now it looked like he was going to settle for 4th, but I guess maybe he wants to take an extra step, as Levi Poland not letting him get to that outside, not letting him clear. Great battle.
Yeah, great battle between the two, and obviously some lap cars in the fray here coming up here, the 70 and the 79. So, they're battling back in here as much as possible, and maybe looking to use one of those cars as a pick if they can get up there. And it's kind of one thing you try timing to maybe help yourself out, and you see them, the slower cars just a little bit higher. But, I mean, they're not too far off pace, Carl. I mean, they've been able to stay in front of these 3 drivers right now. So, them tires are definitely starting to wear down towards the end here, as they're on a nice little run here. You can see, I'll go ahead and bring it up real quick before we get into the final 10 laps here, and you see when they were all in. Potter in with he has the newest tires there with 75. Rickett was down there in 74, and then you got Casey with 67. So real close there between some of those drivers, but you see some of those drivers down to the field in at lap 98, in at lap 100, and those are the cars that obviously are like not fighting for position, but they're not quite in the way. They're just kind of hanging on, and they're slowly catching. And that's usually what happens. I talk about it myself, and even yourself, how we just burn off tires, and and that's might be what's happening back there with some of them other drivers. We talked to Daniel Pinkston there early on, but Casey getting in there a little bit. I'm sure he didn't want to do that to the 91, and it's going to back off a little bit. And go back to P number 3 there, but right there on that bumper for Poland, and now in the clutches, back in the clutches of Billy Rickett.
Rickett was in second place, but had a really bad exit out of turn number 4. Not sure if he just had to slow up to stay out of the wall or what, but went from second back to fourth that quickly, and he's trying to mount a charge here once again. He does have newer tires than Casey, but now it gets later in the run. They've kind of evened out, and a big smack off the wall there for the 7, and that may right there cost him the chance at the podium here tonight, and it'd be one heck of a podium for Michael Casey coming in that much earlier than everybody else. Had to save a bunch of fuel here just to get to the end. Hopefully he's got enough now. Hopefully he's at full power, but Levi Poland now officially clear and trying to run down Nolan Potter, but it's not going to happen here tonight as we are down less than 10 laps to go as the 99 of Potter looks to get his first win here on the season, and very well will do so here tonight as he's got 8 laps to go. He's got a 8-second lead on Levi Poland, who just cannot shake Michael Casey, as Casey is just hanging right there, about 0.2 of a second behind the 79 right here. Foster Yates is a lap down, not in the mix here for the top 3, which is yet to be decided out here tonight. But before we get to the end of this race, we'll go ahead and take care of our sponsor duties here tonight. Once again, I want to thank One Vision, EMS, and Transports for their continued support here on the series. And then also a thank you to Kim's Cups and More, as they are your one-stop shop for all your apparel needs, whether it's a custom 20-ounce tumbler to fill with your favorite post-race beverage, a 40-ounce glitter tumbler for your morning coffee after you were up all night celebrating that win, or custom clothing apparel with your favorite team, sponsor, or maybe your favorite broadcasters, wink wink, a custom license plate for your everyday ride, even mouse pads to help you rearrange that pesky new UI. You can choose from already created products or have them custom made to your liking. Whatever your pleasure, Kim's Cups and More has it all. Check them out on Facebook today. That's Kim's Cups and More with a K. This is coming down to the end here. It looks all wrapped up for first, but we got our eyes right here on second place at 91. Levi Poland has it. The 6 of Michael Casey wants it back, and he's trying to make a late run on him. They got some lap traffic in the way in front. You see Casey trying to use that side draft. Gets a real good run through the tri-oval. Will the 91 be able to use the lap traffic as a bit of a pick? And it seems like maybe the 91 using up those tires a little bit too much, as Casey's going to make the pass. Now the 91 coming back at him. Gives him a big shot down the backstretch. Casey's going to go to the inside. The 91 to the outside gets squeezed up into the wall by Hartman. And that could be enough for Casey to maybe secure second place here, as we are now down to the, go back left for me. There we go. We're down to 4 laps to go here, as Nolan Potter stretching out that lead to 9 seconds right now, as it's Potter, Casey, Poland, Rickett, and Worley for your top 5.
Yeah, and I talked about it just a little bit earlier about using lap cars as a pit car, and you can see how they can come into play. Obviously, somebody's dancing around. You know, Casey decided to go from high to low, and then the 91 of Levi Poland tried to go high, but now going below the 52 here. And I'm sure he sees it. Is going to.
Oh no!
52 and 91 getting into it, able to keep the cars going straight. 52 hard in the wall and slow.
Levi Poland with a meatball for that as well.
No.
So that is going to be the end of his chances for the podium here tonight. Billy Rickett going to move back into third. Levi Poland, we'll see where he can limp it back in there. If he can get that fast repair real quick, get back out there. Maybe a top 10 still in the mix, but that is a big disappointment there for Poland, as he does make it back to pit lane. Coming out of the final corner here for Nolan Potter, as he's put on a masterclass here tonight, and a great run for the 99 is more likely than not gonna result in the win, as he is on his last lap right now on the backstretch. Unless something happens, unless he runs out of gas, unless, I don't know, a bird flies into the windshield, there's nothing that's going to stop this 99 here tonight. Klondike's around for everybody on the team. The 99 of Nolan Potter to the top spot here at Chicagoland. Gets it done here. Michael Casey coming out of turn number 4. He is going to get a very well-earned and hard-fought second place here tonight. Billy Rickett just didn't have the tires and have the handling at the end of this thing. He's going to have to settle for third place, but still not a bad run for your pole sitter here tonight of Rickett. Worley coming out of turn number 4.
Well, he's out of gas.
And he's out of gas, so how about Matthew Scruffy Jordan in there for 4th place. Worley just gonna get to the line by 0.02 of a second. He's gonna get the top 5 over Tony Brennan. Justin Spengler, the birthday boy, going to settle for 7th. Foster Yates, Zane Bierman for your 9 cars. And then the top 10 final spot is going to go to Levi Poland. So at least he gets a top 10 out of it. But this is going to be, I'm sure, a very salty 91 here after tonight. He should have been up there for the top 3, at worst top 4. But he's going to have to finish in 10th place here tonight. Scott Henderson, Daniel Pinkston, Dale Garner Jr., Douglas Ivey, Travis Noble, Richard Hartman, and Wade Enyart for your 17-car field. But 99 reigns supreme here tonight, and the Klondike number 99 is going to be the one celebrating in the grass on the front stretch. Congrats to Nolan Potter. We'll get him up here in a bit. Want to thank everyone out there once again in CRN Nation. If you haven't done so yet, hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe to get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer, as we'll get these top 3 here in a moment. But Jimmy, this ended up being a really good one. A couple early cautions, but I mean, the last roughly about 100 laps run caution free.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the way they went from after the comp caution, and obviously showing that they can go from green from start to finish. Just a little bit of maybe nerves, or just not catching that car early on, causing the early the incidents here. But yeah, cleaned up nicely. Ended up being a great race and hard fought for quite a few of those positions. Some of those drivers, making their way up and down here. Obviously, Nolan Potter putting on a good ending to the race here, finishing quite a few seconds up ahead of P2, Michael Casey, just over 10 seconds. And then Billy Rickett able to slide into the podium after the 91 of Levi Poland and the 52 getting involved with a late incident there. But yeah, great race for overall there, and you can see there's the results. Had 6 cars on the lead lap, and that's what happens when you go green for 100 laps, Carl, as people start whoever's the most consistent, has great pit stops and a good strategy, can go ahead and lap a majority of the field here. But great run by all. It was fun to watch. Chicago, not obviously one of those tracks where I like the multiple lanes, so the cars were able to battle it out here, low side, high side, and all the different things that can go out here is not unexciting at all by any means. So congratulations to all the drivers out there. It was a awesome Sunday evening.
Looks like
Barry, you didn't miss the race. You made the ending.
Yeah, exactly. The best part. The best part. And as I was about to mention here, it is it's me on CRN forever, regardless. So you can always rewatch the race. But either way, we'll get our top 3 in here. Looks like it is. Maybe Bill Rickett just is a little camera shy and a little broadcaster shy, because I think this is the second time now in a row that we're not going to be able to talk to the 7 here tonight. Still not in there. If he gets in the waiting room, we'll bring him in here. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and bring in our second place finisher here tonight, and that's going to be the stick of Mike Casey. Mike, it looked like, 1, you had to do a little fuel saving on that last run, and 2, it looked like you were kind of going to keep that trend going. You finished 6th at Daytona, 5th at Echo Park. It looked like a 4th place was in line here tonight, but then all of a sudden you had enough fuel and you had the tires left as well to run back up there for 2nd.
I missed you guys. I couldn't have it be 3 weeks in a row where I
told
didn't get
you,
to
Carl.
talk to
I
y'all.
told
So I was
you.
like, I'm coming, boys. Don't forget about me. But oh man, yeah, that race. Well, for one, I qualified really bad, and
Yes, you
everybody did a good job on qualifying, so everybody was pretty close. But my qualifying was pretty bad. So, I got stuck back there and it was lap 1. Somebody checked up and then I got ran over. So the start of my race didn't start out that great, but I was able to recover pretty good. I short pitted a little early, which was that sucked too. I was like, come on, guys, surely they'll come with me. I'm the leader. Come on. And nobody came with me. So then I was on a little bit older tires when we all cycled out, and I was right at the fuel mark. So I was literally clutching this thing going into the entries, trying to save a little fuel, which did help. But it was just an up and down race. There were some good battles, man. Everybody just, it was rough. I am sweating. I am not exaggerating. I am sweating.
Yeah, 8-lap older tires was not exactly a good place to be at the end with
No.
the 91 and the 7. But you were able to get the best of them. The 7 certainly had his mistakes, and then at the end there, the 91 certainly he made a heck of a dive to the inside on Richard Hartman, and I don't think he realized that the 91 was on the outside, and it made it a little bit rough for him out there. But yeah, I mean, you brought up the qualifying. Obviously, last week at Echo Park, you did put the 6 on the pole, but I mean, other than that, I feel like it's been a string of some just rough qualifying efforts for the 6 team. Is there something going on with the qualifying trim that you're not able to get the speed out of it in qualifying, and then all of a sudden the race trim it comes to life?
I just like to stress myself out. That's it. That's all there is to it. I do it for good TV on CRN. No, no,
and it's costly interviews.
I know.
Done this to yourself.
I know it. I know. Shame, shame, shame. No, at Echo Park, actually, I got caught up in that wreck. I've been caught up in a wreck every week so far this year. So it's kind of been all my races. I feel like I've played catch up. Daytona was at the end. That's kind of to be expected. I mean, it still sucks, but that just happens. But no, at Echo Park, I had to use a fast repair, and then I took tires, and then we had another caution come out like 10 laps after. And I was like, well, I'll just stay out. And then, of course, after that, we click off like a 40-something lap green flag run. Well, yeah, I went straight to the back, and then I was able to catch up a little bit. But I just, I'm not complaining. It's early. We have a very long season. So, I try to tell all the other guys, too, like, just because one race may not go your way, I mean, we've got 16 more races, 17 more. So just try to, it'll eventually happen. You put the time in, you practice, and then sometimes you just got to have some good luck go your way. But like I said, been a little bit of a rocky start. I do need to fix the qualifying. But other than that, it's been a pretty eventful season for the 6 car so far.
Yeah, I mean, defending champion, obviously out here, but yet to get a win through 3 races here. So you finally get up here and talk to us after race number 3. But what's it going to take to get to the top step? Is there any races coming up here in the schedule that you're really looking forward to?
Auto Club. I know you guys absolutely hate Auto Club, but I am
worst tag ever.
I'm excited, and I tell you, the type of racing that we've had this season out of everybody, that's going to be a wild one. I guarantee that'll be another one where I'm sweating. But as far as me, I like to try to stay consistent. I think I've had the speed and the race pace every week, and it's just stuff's happened, and then it's hard, if you go down early, it's hard to play catch up through some of these races and get yourself back through the field. I was trying to get through the field tonight without just, hitting people and trying to stay as clean as I could, because I knew it was a long race and I knew we were going to get a long green flag run. It seems like, last weekend was the same way. The first part of the race was a little bit rocky, but then everybody kind of calmed down a little bit, spread out, and then we had some long green flags around at Echo Park too. So it's, it'll happen. But like I said, it's early. I'm trying not to hang my head on a couple bad races. We'll go from there. We'll get the 6 back up there in victory lane soon, I hope.
Well, last question I got for you is one thing we've seen this season. Not sure if it's the car, if it's the fact that it's an older car, an older damage model, or what the case is, but we've seen the meatball flag quite a bit. Obviously, last week at Echo Park, we've seen a ton of meatballs. It was cloudy with a chance of meatballs last week. Here tonight, luckily only 2 cautions early on in the race, but even those 2 cautions, we had a meatball in the first one, 2 more meatballs on the second one, and then even a couple more meatballs later on here in the race. It seems like the meatball flag is not messing around here this season. Does that, maybe put a little fear into the drivers? A lot less cautions here tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Atlanta was pretty wild, or Echo Park, sorry. But yeah, we had a lot of cars getting junked on that one. That first wreck that I got in here tonight at Chicagoland, I got pretty lucky. I think I only had like 36 seconds worth of damage, which I did take the full repair on that. And then once we had our caution, I went ahead and took a fast repair because I think I still had a little nose damage, but I think it's just these cars. I really don't know. I don't remember it being that bad last season.
No.
So
Yeah,
we'll just have to kind of see, but hopefully this will, because like I said, we do run 2 fast repairs. So maybe this will kind of make guys kind of give and take a little bit more, but I don't know. We'll just have to see how how it all plays out tonight, or for the rest of the season, I should say. Yeah.
Well, listen, I thought it was going to take, you being the driver of the race, the pre-race interview to just get a chance to talk to you here this season. But you finally get up here and earn your way.
I was trying, boys. I was trying. I was sweating.
Well, congrats on the finish here tonight, the top 2. So 1 spot away from finally getting your first win here in the season. But before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, I appreciate that. First off, I want to say congratulations to Nolan on the win. He's been really fast, and he's been a great addition to the league. Billy as well. Not sure what happened to Levi, like I said, with the lap traffic, but I hope that, I hope that didn't just ruin it for him. But, everybody was battling through lap traffic. But anyways, shout out to you guys in the booth taking care of us and broadcasting our shows, and make sure you guys get those thumbs up for these guys. They're awesome. Kim's Cups and More, obviously, One Vision EMS Transport for jumping on again this season and taking care of 191 Motorsports, and then everybody out on YouTube watching and everything. And then shout out to my wife. Appreciate you supporting me and everything that I do on iRacing. And man, it feels good to be back up in the booth.
Hey, it's about time, buddy. Well, we'll see if the next time we get a chance to talk to you, hopefully you keep that trend going on the way up, and that'll result in a first place out there at Auto Club. But take some time, celebrate this one, and we'll see you next week out in California.
All right, that sounds good, guys. We appreciate y'all.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, the 6 of Mike Casey. Almost getting it done here tonight, but I don't think there was anybody that had anything for tonight's winner, the 99 of Nolan Potter.
Nolan! Jimmy Crow up in the booth. How are you doing?
Doing good.
I mean, last week I was saying, what would you do for a Klondike bar? And it was win a race, but it fell by the wayside last week. But tonight, I think the ice cream was waiting at that finish line there tonight for that number 99. Great run. Great battle. Did see you, you started in 5th place or 4th place, one of them two, and to work your way through the field. And obviously a little quiet in the beginning, but monster effort at the end to rack off a nice 10-second win, 10-second lead and win here for Chicagoland. So give us a little rundown on your race, man. What was your thoughts? What were you thinking with the early cautions and whatnot?
Just trying to be patient, trying to run my line that I wanted to run, hoping I can save tires that way. A lot of guys in this league, I'm noticing, like to go to the high side, so I'm trying to just run the bottom side and not burn the tires off too much. And it ended up working out tonight. I think it would have been a really good race. Michael went in a little earlier, than he wanted to. But we had a little bit fresher tires at the end than him, and we ended up running him down again. So, it's just about being patient and trying to run my line, and it worked out today.
It definitely worked for the 99, and it was good to see you, be able to get back up here and get that win here. This is, obviously last week, we thought we were going to talk to you then, and obviously things kind of fell through. But giving yourself a victory here tonight, a good way to get a great finish. Obviously, a long season ahead. You looking forward to any of the races that are coming up?
I just really enjoy driving this car again. I haven't got to drive this car in a long time. Found this league, and it's been a really blast. I like it a little bit better than next gen, so it's been a good time.
I definitely agree with liking this car over the next gen. I hate the next gen. I can't say I hate it. I just, when it came out, is kind of when I fell away from doing ovals myself. But either way, great run, great race here tonight. Congratulations on your first place finish. But before we let you get out of here, we always got to give you some time for any shouts you might have on that number 99.
A shout out to Mike for putting on the league and everyone in the league. It's been a great group of guys so far, and I look forward to continuing. So. And thank you for doing this in the booth. You guys do a great job. So,
We really appreciate the shouts as always. Again, congratulations on the victory here at Chicagoland, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.
That is your winner in dominating fashion here tonight, the 99 of Nolan Potter. I want to thank everyone out there once again in Sierra Nation. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe to get you in touch with everything that Sierra has to offer. This is only race number 1 of 6 here for the week. So tune in tomorrow night and the rest of the week for more racing action. But for myself and Jimmy from the booth here at Chicagoland, we'll see you at the track.
Happy birthday, Spangler. Peace.